Jingri Jingri Jimbalungs. Welcome to the Vonda Youngman Community Centre on Tambourine Mountain and our final arts dinner for 2020 and our first in-venue arts dinner for 2020 due to COVID. My name is Bronwyn Davies and I'm honoured to be the host tonight for this inaugural South West Queensland Cultural Champions Award and end-of-year arts dinner. Welcome everybody. To start the evening, I'd like to introduce Auntie Ruby, who could not be with us tonight, but she sends a special welcome message.
Buka nungai numala Wanjarabara jargon. I am standing in Wanjarabara country, the place for digging up yams, my great uncle said. Food sources were so important. So was the medicine. Another of the aunties once spoke to me of her auntie gathering fruit and berries from the rainforest. When your hands joined together were full of berries, and then that was 3 weeks worth of vitamins, concentrated food energy, good tucker. That is food for the body. Tonight, as we gather, we are surrounded by and crying out for food for the soul, creative art, regenerative arts, therapeutical arts, art that is magical, art that lifts us into the go-between worlds of flights of fancy to gather to ourselves a physical representation of all that holds meaning for us and signals our own heightened purpose. And somehow, the arts community, who have gathered from near and far, have been privileged to have been brought here into the sanctuary of the sacred mountain of Jamboree, Mount Tambourine. I am Auntie Ruby, a descendant of the old Wanjarabaras, and I am here tonight to share with you an Aboriginal connectedness to all living things in country, to say thank you. Thank you, old one, for the mist that envelops you in the early mornings. Thank you, Yariga, for the winds that blow. Thank you, Villain with brilliant plumage, who signals the presence of our ancestors. Thank you for Taran, little green frog who knows no fear but leaps with strength and agility to land where she will. And thank you to my friend the whipbird, who reminds us to come back to the present, to remember what is. Thank you, Jamboree, for the great privilege of being in country. I will never forget you. I will never forget you, my Wanjarabara people of this mountain. I open my heart to the night sky and to the song of Earth Mother as I honor you, the Wanjarabara elders of the past, who followed the law and kept the ways of those who passed before them. I honor and pay my respects to all elders past and present. Your brilliance will continue to shine on. Come, my friends, walk with me now into the land of the Wanjarabara. I welcome you into country.
Thanks, Auntie Ruby. Before we start the award ceremony, I would like to invite the Mayor, Councillor Greg Christensen, to say a few words.
Thank you, Bronwyn, and thank you, Auntie Ruby, for that wonderful, rich and colourful welcome to country. It is indeed a privilege to accept your welcome and to also show respect to the traditional owners of this magnificent place we call home here in Tamborine Mountain, but also across this magnificent scenic rim, and so many other parts that are joining with us digitally tonight. It's also a privilege to acknowledge elders past and present, and to thank them, people such as yourself, Auntie Ruby, who continue to nurture such a colourful and rich understanding in today's generations to carry into the future. It's fitting to begin with such a recognition on a night like tonight. Such a special event for so many reasons, celebrating cultural champions, enjoying the first arts dinner live for the year, as well as online since the emergence of COVID-19. So a blended gathering tonight. I certainly acknowledge a number of my council colleagues with us tonight. I'm not sure whether all have arrived, but I do know that Councillor Michael Enright is here. Of course, he chairs the Scenic Rim Arts Reference Group. Councillor Virginia West, I know, is with us. I'm not sure, by the time I came up here, I hadn't yet seen if Councillor Jeff McConnell and Councillor Derek Swanborough had arrived, but they were intending to be with us, so I hope they do arrive shortly. And of course, it's a great privilege to have one of our General Managers of Council Sustainability, Oliver Pring. Thank you for joining us tonight. So as you may know, Scenic Rim is part of the South West Queensland Regional Arts Service Network. Wow, that's a mouthful. And we're supported by Regional Arts Officer Michelle Blair, who's based in Toowoomba. Now, Michelle isn't able to be with us tonight. She has a much more important duty tonight. She's attending her daughter's graduation, and we would never begrudge her that opportunity. However, I would like to acknowledge her help, not only in keeping the flag flying for arts dinners alive and online throughout COVID-19, but also extending the event's reach across South West Queensland. With a wide-ranging remit, Michelle supports cultural activity across the Maranoa, Ballon, Goondiwindi, Southern Downs, Western Downs, Toowoomba, Lockyer Valley and Scenic Rim regions. I bet she clocks up more Ks than I do. And she travels to galleries, theatres, museums and communities, liaising with cultural organisations to identify networks that will grow cultural practice throughout the Southwest. Scenic Rim is proud to be part of this wider region. While we might look to our north, east and other neighbouring areas, which are large cities with large populations, and just sometimes wish we had some of what they have, deep down we know we have a much better offering. We love our small communities, our unique way of life, and most of all, our connection to place. This connection to place is what makes living in this beautiful part of the world so very special. Being connected to other regions which share our challenges provides opportunities for synergies, enabling us to be stronger together than on our own. This evening we'll be reflecting on the challenging year that was 2020 and previewing our cultural program for 2021. And to make sure the final arts dinner for 2020 ends on a high note, we have popular local bands The Inadequates and the Haystack Mountain Hermits providing this evening's entertainment. And I'm not sure whether COVID allows, but someone did ask before, Bron, will they be able to dance? So you'll have to provide that clarity for them this evening before the music comes on. However, it is my honour and privilege this evening to present the inaugural awards for the South West Queensland Cultural Champions. Local governments are the biggest contributors by far to arts and culture in Australia. So in calling for award nominations, we went to the librarians, the cultural centre staff, the gallery community, the civic centres, the RADF groups in each region to identify worthy nominees for cultural champions in their region. And I want to go a little off my script here and say, this year, perhaps like never before, others have come to realise what people in this room and on this live dinner tonight will know. Arts is so essential to what makes us important and meaningful as human beings and as communities. It is very much the expression of self that is shared by those in our arts community that is a glue that creates a wonderful bond in the fabric of society that we must never, never let go of. So, to be nominated as a cultural champion is in itself an honour and recognises the many hours and tireless support these members of our communities devote to advancing culture in their chosen medium or region. The 26 people nominated tonight include those who have brought arts workshops to the Outback, developed Indigenous heritage trails, run community galleries, used the arts to address isolation and mental illness, shown skill and excellence in exhibition and innovation, supported community theatre, developed dance groups and supported community culture, started choirs, run festivals, lit up the skies, painted murals, lifted hearts, embraced communities in the wake of bushfires, highlighted the plight of our farmers and found new ways of living in the regions. What an incredible gift our nominees have given to our communities. Before we start, I'm just going to pause now and say, let's give them all a round of applause before we start. And to all nominees, I commend you for your spirit and dedication. You make your world, our world, a better and more colourful place in which to live. And I thank you.
Tricky, that. Thank you. Ah, dear. Thank you, Greg. If you could just stay and help me make these announcements. Every nominee should be honoured, as the Mayor said, as a cultural champion. And the selection panel that selected the winners was made up of advisors from across the 8 regions to the South West Queensland Arts Network. And they found the choice very difficult. So we have certificates of appreciation for each of the nominees as cultural champions, and we should celebrate them in every community. And we'll send those out to those who are not with us tonight. Now, I'll give you the special envelopes, and we'll start with the top one. The nominees for Cultural Champion for the Maranoa are Sandy Avery. Sandy is a Mitchell-based artist from the Maranoa region, and her passion is basket weaving and basket coiling. Sandy is an active member of the Mitchell community and has volunteered at the Mitchell on Maranoa Gallery. Sandy also has recently displayed at the gallery in joint exhibitions called Pots, Knots and Baskets. Susie Klein. She's a local Indigenous artist who has opened her studio to young people who are interested in connecting with country. She's an auntie to many. She's a presenter at the Australian and New Zealand Addictions Conference using art for relaxation, and she's a therapist and a mediator, and she's renowned for her caring for the kids, and she's an auntie to everyone. Susie Pukalis, I hope that's how I pronounce it, is the organiser of the In June Creative Odyssey, a 2-day creative arts event. This event has been running for many years, and Sue has been able to provide over 20 creative workshops over the 2-day period to a loyal group of participants. 2-day arts events that always sell out created a great model, creating networks, creative and social outcomes for ladies of the rural networks. So important when you're in the outback. Our next nominee for the Maranoa is Vicky Saunders. Vicky Saunders is a Gungari woman from Mitchell in South West Queensland, currently living in southern central Queensland. She is currently working with the First Peoples Health Unit, Griffith University. Vicky has been actively involved in recovering and recording the cultures of her people and has recently coordinated an exhibition at the Mitchell on Maranoa Gallery, which focused on creating a space to poetically express, reflect and celebrate the bottle tree known as Babuni in Gungari. She is a lead advocate for the Gungari people of Mitchell, has assisted with the creation of a cultural heritage material in the Yumba, looking at ways to retain and share culture in Mitchell. The Surat Aboriginal Corporation exists to support and strengthen Indigenous communities through the facilitation of programs and activities that will improve physical and mental health, promote cultural identity, advance early childhood development, and in turn improve the overall well-being of Indigenous people in South West Queensland. They have recently developed the South West Indigenous Arts and Cultural Trail and are working on the Bambagi Festival, which will to be a highlight and celebrate the cultures of the trails, to be hosted in Roma in 2021. I think we might have a video for that, do we, Mark? No, we're having a bit of technical issue with there. Greg, the winner for the Maranoa is...
Drumroll. Yes, thank you. And the winner of the Cultural Champion Award for 2020 for Maranoa is the Surat Aboriginal Corporation.
And we have a lovely Oscar, we call them the Bosca, and a certificate for them that we'll send out to them. The nominees for Ballon are Adam Osborne. Adam has long worked hard to support the Mani Tribes Gallery in St George. As a director on the board of the local Aboriginal Housing Corporation and as a Queensland Police Service liaison officer, Adam works to address need and celebrate culture for the local community. He often works behind the scenes and is rarely recognised for the very real difference he makes in his community. The Mani Tribes Gallery is just one of the projects Adam is engaged in. Adam has managed to secure funding to ensure the gallery will be able to be open and have artists in residence programs. He's a tireless champion for culture, respect and well-being of the Indigenous community. And the Mani Tribes Gallery will be Adam's legacy to St George and the people who the gallery supports. He has introduced programs for youth to develop not only skills but pride in being Aboriginal artists. The next nominee for Ballon is Gordon Lister. He is an artist in residence. Leslie Gordon Warraba Lister is a proud Yuwalaraway, sorry, I don't think I've got that right, man. He is inspired by tradition and art and the stories of his people. Gordon's paintings tell the stories told to him by his grandmother, mother, aunts and uncles, his own dreaming and his personal experiences. He started painting when he was young. Coming from the circle people, Gordon says painting is his job, to pass stories down and keep the circle going around. I lost myself when I went away and I left country, St George, and I was off track and I needed purpose in my life. Art means a lot to me. It has always been there in our family. It's like a line that runs through our body when we dance or paint from the heart through the body. Gordon says the gallery has been helping young men and women rediscover their culture and sees the gallery and the practice of art as a form of healing. If you have them engaged, they are not depressed. If they don't get involved, they are sitting in limbo and they are not thinking about work. They are thinking about what they can't do instead of what they can do. And Greg, the winner for the Ballon is...
Oh, that was a bit of a weak drum. That's much better. The winner of Cultural Champion Award for the 2020 for Ballon is Adam Osborne.
Our next area is Gundawindi, and the nominees for Gundawindi, sorry, I always get that wrong too, Chantal Koresh. She is a long-term resident and supporter of arts initiatives across the region. Chantal has recently established the Gundawindi Art Gallery, an exhibition space for local artists to showcase their products. Chantal also operates the Resting Place of the Birds, which aims to provide locals and visitors with a space for bush wellbeing, creativity and connection. Chantal's legacy is improved wellbeing, a sense of purpose and support and the community support of their creative pursuits. The next nominee for Gundawindi is Caroline Ferguson. Artist Caroline Ferguson was nominated for her innovative business initiative of the Art Cubby. The Art Hubby initiative was created over 5 years ago as a creative art studio for Caroline to help nurture young artists' minds in their creative development. Caroline specialises in sharing her artistic passion for art and unearthing creativity in primary school-aged children. Her after-school art program engages around 40 students per week from all backgrounds and abilities. Her classes are always relaxed with shoes off, upbeat music on and plenty of laughter. The nominator recommended her for the good she has done for the young people of Gundawindi and the surrounding district. Caroline has developed children's motivation and their self-worth by learning about the arts and enriching their artistic knowledge in a supportive and inspiring environment. Each year, Caroline coordinates 2 large community exhibitions to showcase her students' artistic creations. Greg, the winner for Gundawindi is...
A bit more training, we could get you a job. The winner of Cultural Champion Award for 2020 for Gundawindi is Carolyn Ferguson.
Oh, it's a bit like being at the Oscars, isn't it? The nominees for our next council area is Western Downs. So our first nominee is Cindy Grimes. Cindy is a member of the Glenmorgan Art Group, which recently celebrated its 50th anniversary. That's pretty good for a regional arts group. The group is a vital community arts hub with ongoing monthly meetings and regularly welcoming new members. Cindy has organised the 2020 Vision at Dogwood Crossing, which showcases art produced by many of the Glenmorgan Art Group over the past 50 years and demonstrates their diverse approaches both to painting and creativity in general. Living in the Western Downs region for over 20 years, Cindy draws inspiration from the Queensland landscape, challenging her creativity through different mediums, a preoccupation that continues to grow as she observes, paints and creates from her own backyard. Helen Dennis is our next nominee. Helen is a member of the Western Downs Regional Art Exhibition and La Panya Art Gallery, Chinchilla, and is a vital member of the broader arts community. Helen has proven enduring commitment to ensuring Chinchilla has access to quality exhibitions and public programs and is a much-loved member of the broader region's established arts networks. Excuse me doing this because I'm being attacked by mosquitoes. Working primarily in acrylics on canvas and more recently mixed media, Helen's artwork explores often subversive themes, things like mining and overdevelopment. Working with the belief that an artist should be prepared to explore creativity, she uses bold, colourful palettes to portray the changing Chinchilla community and environment. Our next nominee is Dion Cross. He's a self-taught artist. Dion's work is a testament to his tradesmanship and resourcefulness, using primarily raw and discarded materials to create modern sculptures. The shed in his backyard in Chinchilla is used as his studio, storing the metal scrap that becomes both the material and source for imagination and creativity. Inspired by the Australian bush animals and narratives embedded in found objects, many of Dion's pieces are homage to ways of life preserved in small towns within the Western Downs. The next nominee for Western Downs is Pat Hinz. Although not formally trained, Hinz has developed her arts practice through visiting tutors and art group peers. She has been a member of the Miles Art Group for over 30 years and was instrumental in establishing the Miles Art Show and various other associated arts and cultural initiatives in the Western Downs region. Despite living in regional areas, she has exhibited across Australia and internationally. Pat's involvement in the Miles Art Group and the Dogwood Crossing Steering Group, as well as contribution to the arts community within Miles and beyond, has had a long-lasting impact. A much-loved artist and community member, she has been instrumental in the sustained development of the arts community on Miles and the ongoing contribution to Dogwood Crossing, the nominee says, is unsurpassed. Now, I've just got a bit of a message here from Elliot saying that we've got a number of the award nominees in the room, so we might switch them at the end and have a bit of a chat to them. Regina Highland is our next nominee for Western Downs. Capturing the unnoticed, overlooked elements of the everyday, Chinchilla-based artist Regina Highland works aims to reflect the subtle beauty found in ordinary things. With family roots in the region dating back 4 generations, Highland is proud to call Chinchilla community her home. This connection is reflected in bright and colourful brushstrokes, with subject matter firmly grounded in her hometown. The people she loves, the prickly pear found on roadsides and in paddocks, and the retro kitsch of old kitchen appliances of years gone by. An award-winning artist, her large-scale paintings have been recognised since she was 16, recently involved in the Chinchilla Placemaking Project. Regina is a young artist who is going from stride to stride in her own arts practice. Her own work has been crucial for energising young people through bright and colourful murals, and her volunteer work within the Chinchilla Melon Festival. A younger member of the artist community of the Western Downs, her influence is becoming crucial in leading the next generation of young artists in the region. And Greg, the winner for Western Downs, is...
Oh, we're getting some attempts at different rhythms in the beat. That's very promising. The winner of Cultural Champion Award for 2020 for Western Downs, Regina Highland.
And Regina, I know that you're online and we might have a bit of a chat to you after we've gone through all these awards. So I'm looking forward to talking to you. Now, there is only one nominee for the Southern Downs, and that is Rosie Chapman. Rosie is creator and organiser of the Granite Belt Art Trail. This is an open studio event organised by a community committee with Rosie at the helm. The Granite Belt Art and Craft Trail program encourages visitors to gallery hop their way around the Granite Belt. Gallery and workshop spaces range from artisans and residents at their private studios to artisan collectors in some of the region's best wineries and award-winning cafes. So this is a lay down misère, isn't it? Greg, the winner is?
Let's see if she's right. Still deserves a drum roll. Oh, jeepers. Bad. It's hard to get a good audience. The winner of the Cultural Champion Award for 2020 for Southern Downs is indeed Rosie Chapman.
The nominees for the Lockyer Valley are Grace Crichton. Grace is a young, vibrant community member who is heavily involved in the performing arts in the Lockyer Valley. Often we comment that young people don't get involved in the community, but Grace has taken on the role as the secretary for the Performing Arts Group, and young people being active in our arts community will be the legacy of Grace's work. The other nominee for the Lockyer Valley is Marie Rosier. Lockyer Creative Connection, Marie has been part of the formation of this new group in the Lockyer Valley. She's spent time on developing a strategy and connections with the local history village to utilise the space for workshops, and has been the instigator of the Valley Vibe Festival. And Greg, the winner for the Lockyer Valley is?
Winner of Cultural Champion Award for 2020 for Lockyer Valley, Grace Crichton.
So now we come to Toowoomba. The nominees for Toowoomba are, the first nominee for Toowoomba is Ben Tupas. Ben Tupas is a leader in Toowoomba's creative community, the brains behind the Lit Festival, a biennial lights show that activates the CBD, and he is the designer behind Bar Wonder's awesome signage and an educator at Harristown State. Ben quietly but continuously contributes to the growth of the city's creative scene, Lit Festival 2020 and 2018. The next nominee for Toowoomba is Phoebe Tully. Phoebe is the host for the Toowoomba chapter of Creative Mornings. Creative Mornings is a free monthly breakfast lecture series designed for creative communities, and these chapters are held all around the world. Phoebe is also the writer and editor of the Field Guide, a publication on all things in Toowoomba. The final nominee for Toowoomba is Ruth Atkinson. I don't know if Ruth is actually in the room. No. Ruth is the powerhouse behind the Curious Arts Festival, a fresh and exciting event transforming Toowoomba each year. It delves into the new and the future, explores and discovers quirky, fun and unusual work by a curious blend of nationally celebrated Queensland-based artists. Postponing the March 2020 event due to COVID, they pivoted and presented later in the year in a variety of exciting performing arts events showcasing dance, circus and family entertainment. And Greg, the winner for Toowoomba?
Boy, they're losing momentum. The winner of Cultural Champion Award for 2020 for Toowoomba is Ben Tupis.
Now we come to the final region, which is the Scenic Rim. The first nominee for the Scenic Rim is Brendan Knight. Brendan is over there. Hello, Brendan. For his work with Mananjali Nari, his ongoing commitment to culture and his participation with his community and dedication to cultural learning. He has built up a traditional dance group that have met regularly in the region to share culture and learn dance and story. Our second nominee is Janine Young, and Janine will be speaking to us, I hope, soon, coming from Gove up in Northern Territory. Janine was previously worked at the Beaudesert Hospital as a registered nurse and midwife and has a passion for art. She agreed to paint 4 murals suggested for the brick wall outside the maternity ward at Beaudesert Hospital. These murals took many months of consultation with Mananjali community, local residents and Metro South personnel and have been unveiled in early November. The brick wall outside the 2 birthing suites now has spectacular artwork for birthing families to admire and the prospect of surrounding garden being revamped to enhance the significant story of birth. In Janine's words, it is a journey representing the different stages of pregnancy from the conception in the morning, growth in the daytime, the labour and birth in the afternoon and family in the evening. All in one day. These four panel focus on Mount Lindsay and the Mananjali totem of the wedge-tailed eagle, Mount Barney, Lake Maroon and the pretty-faced wallabies, which in Indigenous culture represent family. The next nominee for...
We're going to record each nominee?
Oh, of course. I was very remiss there, sorry. Our next nominee is Margie Rose. Margie has been involved with community choirs, live performance, little theatre, drama teaching, music teaching and coaching for many years. This year she has been working with the Making Good Alliance and the group she is secretary of, the Tamborine Mountain Arts Collective, to expand possibilities for promotion and support for arts on Tamborine Mountain. She has been active with the Calanthi Collective and the Five Senses Festival and the local All Abilities group Mountain Mates, supported by Rotary. Makers Market's ongoing relationship with the Making Good Alliance and the Centre for Regenerative Arts, skills development and added community vibrancy are just some of the creative legacies Margie has given to the community of Tamborine Mountain. The next nominee is Jessica Brown. Jessica gathered her friends and community from Beechmont and the Scenic Rim following the 2019 fires at Beechmont and Canungra and initiated the regeneration program. One of the first tasks was to organise a weekend workshop entitled Creative Recovery to prepare participants in the program for the best way to develop the project and how to work with people in trauma in a creative, inclusive and gentle way. The weekend, facilitated by the Creative Recovery Network, was so much more than a learning and educating experience, but explored friendships, emotions, issues, nature, nurturing and much more. A mural, sculptures, regular gatherings, men's groups, plays, film and book are just some of the community healing projects now underway with Jess as coordinator. Whilst the work is still in progress, Jess is nominated for her work to date in uniting the community for bringing so many of the Beechmont and Lower Beechmont residents together to share and work positively towards community outcomes. The 2019 fires were particularly shattering for the Beechmont community, who were evacuated during the night and returned to face Binnaburra Lodge mostly destroyed and 11 homes burnt. Our next nominee is BADCAP, which stands for Beaudesert and District Community Arts Project. This is an extremely active community group of passionate, dedicated artists and art workers committed to providing diverse arts and cultural experiences for the Scenic Rim community and visitors to the region. They have worked closely with Council in the delivery of numerous projects, all with excellent, valuable outcomes. BADCAP should be recognised and acknowledged for all they have achieved. BADCAP works with communities has worked with communities and the Scenic Rim residents and visitors on the following projects: Lake Wyalong Sculpture Park, arts activities and market stalls at Arts Ablaze Festival, the 2015 Wyalong Sculpture Festival and Symposium, Arts in the Olives Festival for 10 years, the ASSI 150 Townsvale Wayfinder, Sculpture for an Ancient Land International Sculpture Symposium, Jubilee Park, the Q150 Shared History Project, Davidson Park Mosaic Table and Seats, and numerous workshops. The final nominee for Scenic Rim is Brian Cox. Brian Cox is a dairy farmer from Kerry who brought the painted cow into the centre Beaudesert in August 2020, but also was one of the organisers of the legendary Art Cow program, a community program to connect people and highlight to visitors where food comes from, as well as celebrate the Scenic Rim as a resilient dairy town post the 2016 floods. Brian Cox continues to promote this, although saying that, many other people are still involved in this great initiative. And if you happen to be in Beaudesert, we happen to have a life-size painted cow in the foyer at the moment. So this ongoing project with the local schools to celebrate the dairy industry. So Greg, without further ado, the winner for the Scenic Rim is...
The winner of the Cultural Champion Award for 2020 for Scenic Rim is Jessica Brown.
Jessica, would you like to come up? And Margie, you would like to come up as well. And Badcap, would you like to come up as well? We've got a few people. Brendan, would you like to come up as well? Who else have we got who's been nominated? If you just come up through this door up here, this would be great. Jessica, congratulations.
Thank you.
Would you like to say something?
Yeah. It's like the Oscars. Look.
I'd use the microphone and then come out where everyone can see.
Okay. Congratulations to everybody who was nominated. What an honour. Thank you. It's been a really big year with fires and COVID, and art has just been a natural way to respond to that for me. And I'm sure for a lot of people in the room full of artists, art is the way to connect people, to explore our sense of belonging, to build our communities stronger. And it's been an honour to be in a position to do that with our Beachmont community, Canungra, Illumbah, and the wider Scenic Rim community in the wake of the fires and COVID. We're still in the planning phase, so next year is really exciting with murals, sculptures, a publication, a play, all in the works. So I look forward to working with the wonderful community over the next year and a bit, and thank you to people who have supported the Little Pocket in making this happen, our little Beachmont crew over there, and to Council. Thank you. Lovely.
Someone might want to get a photo of you all together.
Camera? My phone? There's a message from Elliot. I need to...
This man. They're going to take to the microphones now. They didn't know this. This will be an ad.
That's fantastic. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to, now I've got a message from the other end of the universe that we've got a couple of other of our nominees who are on the Zoom. So is that right, Jim? We've got some people there ready to talk to us? And I think that we can actually see them. So I think we've got Adam Osborne, Rosie Chapman,
guys.
and Ben Tupas. And I think we might have Sandy Avery, Superkulis, Susie Klein, and Ruth Atkinson on the line. Maybe? Maybe?
Can you hear me, guys?
Hello.
Okay. We've got a little bit of a technical issue. We're trying to connect with our people from the rest of South West Queensland, but hope that they are able to hear what we are trying to say today, which is that together we make a pretty powerful statement about the arts and how it really helps people in regional areas and how important it is for our communities, and it's the lifeblood. It's why when we have a COVID problem, what are we doing? We're watching television, and what are the people on television? They're actors and they went to acting school. And what are we doing? We're learning crafts and arts, and that's an artist that is doing those YouTube clips, and it's a filmmaker that's making those movies. So unless we support the arts in our regional areas, we don't have the pipeline that ends up with the Oscar winners. And if we don't have we don't support the arts in the regional areas, you don't have the Jeffrey Rushes of the world coming to the fore because they haven't had those opportunities. So it's so important for us to support those regional areas. And I think, we talked about the scenic rim being part of southwestern Queensland, and it might seem strange for here on Tamborine Mountain for us to be thinking about the west of Queensland. But if we compare ourselves to the other parts of southeast Queensland, we're talking about Ipswich, Logan, Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coast, very big areas with very big populations and lots of money and lots of different resources. So Lee Schuster and I went on a road trip once we knew that we were part of Southwest Queensland in terms of the arts networks, and we discovered people who had very similar values as us, loved the places that they lived in. They were having some similar struggles that we had. They had the same sort of expectations and the same way of getting in and doing for themselves as country people that we mostly are. So it's very interesting to be part of the Southwest Queensland. Now, I'm getting a message saying we can hear you, but I don't think we can hear the Zoom participants there at the Vonda Youngman. Adam was saying hello, could you hear him? No, I couldn't. Can anybody see the participants on the cameras? No. Okay. Well, we have got one other award. I might actually ask Councillor Enright if he would come up, and maybe Mark Paddock if you would come up, and also if I could also ask Brendan Knight to come back up to the stage.
Do you want us to say
a bit
something?
of a quick...
Hello.
So this is our first live and online broadcasting, so we're problem solving on the go, so appreciate your patience with us at the moment. Councillor Enright, Mark and Brendan. Now, the people who have won the Cultural Champions Awards, one of the prizes that they are going to receive is attendance at a 3-day creative business workshop that is going to be held here in Tamborine Mountain, hosted by Goat Track Theatre Company director Andrew Wright, and that's an arts leadership program for 3 days. They'll also be able to access a mentoring program being offered by the Making Good Alliance, and what that means is that they have a suite of different people who can help emerging artists who are chosen for this program to help them with their practice. It might be a musician who wants information about copyright, or somebody who needs to know something about marketing, and they'll be putting people together. So the cultural champions have been selected for those who will get the most benefit out of that opportunity. But we also have another program, and I'm just wondering, Mark, okay, all right. We also have another program that we're launching tonight, and we're launching it with in collaboration with the cultural centres and Goat Track Theatre Company, and it's an extension of a really popular program that was run as part of Arts Ablaze, and it's called Entrepreneur. And during Arts Ablaze, 20 young people from across Queensland were nominated by their regions to attend this workshop and ongoing development program with Andrew. Now, of those young people, some have gone on to be working as comedians or as cartoonists or performers or writers, and the outcomes have been fantastic. And that program's called Entrepreneur. And we're going to be replicating that for 4 young people, 4 under 35-year-old people across the Scenic Rim. So there'll be 4 places, and it's a 12-week program, mentoring, and I think, Councillor Enright?
Thank you, Bronwyn. It gives me great delight to present to Brendan Knight, one of the entrepreneurs, as a step up, an opportunity for Brendan to receive some support to build his career. Can I say, as chair of the Arts Reference Group, we've had the recent addition to our committee in Brendan Knight, and the calibre that he has brought to our group, the depth of understanding and the qualities that he has contributed to in the early stages of our meetings has been remarkable. That's only a tip of the iceberg of what he actually does in our Mununjali community. And we are so grateful to have Brendan as a member of our community, and I'm sure that this opportunity through the Entrepreneur program will only foster those skills. So Brendan, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the Entrepreneur Award.
First of all, I'd just like to pay respects to the Wanjirabara people and my elders past and present. I'd just like to thank Scenic Rim Council for everything they've done for me for the past year or so, residency and all that sort of stuff. I'd also like to thank my Mununjali community, friends and family there, the dance troupe, and thank you. It's an honour and a privilege.
So we'd now like to ask you to nominate somebody for this entrepreneur opportunity, someone who's a young emerging performer, writer, artist, maker, someone who will use this opportunity to get the best and extend their career. It's a fantastic opportunity. So if you would like to let us know of who you think will be a great person to be part of this program, we'll have 3 other places. We'll put those people to the Arts Reference Group and they'll make their selection. So that about brings us to the end of our live stream. I just want to thank you, and thank you for persevering through our first live and online session, and thank you to all the nominees and the award winners. As I said at the beginning, you are all cultural champions, and I think we all really need to pay attention. And in fact, I'd have to say that the people in this room are all cultural champions. You come out of your way, you have dedicated to your practice, you come out of your way to attend these things, you spread the word about arts and culture, and I know all the people that are online watching this, you're also cultural champions, and it's just something that I think in our community we really need to support and promote the arts. So thank you all. Hope you enjoyed this one. Our next one is, our next arts dinner is online only, and it's a really interesting discussion about mental health and the arts. We have 4 psychologists and an actress who is going to be part of that discussion. So that's on January the 19th. The one after that in February will be up at Miles at Dogwood Crossing, and that's about public programming. And the one after that will be about recovery and resilience, and that will be hosted by the community up at Beechmont. So these are happening every month. They will be live and online. We'd welcome you to come to any of these and meet some of the other communities in South West Queensland. They'd love to meet you. Great opportunities if you're an artist to network with other gallery owners. If you're a performer, maybe think up a tour schedule, maybe just have a bit of a trip up to the Marinella or something. Anyway, otherwise, please join us online, and thank you, and we're just about to serve dinner. Thank you very much. Goodbye, everyone online.